Perfect. Perfect. Welcome to Dirty Fanatics United.
Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, Dirty Fanatics United is coming at you live Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. It is week 11 in the NFL. The Atlanta Falcons take on the Denver Broncos, and we are here to give you your pregame show. It is your man, C-Money, also known as Chase, your host, followed by my co-host, Philip, a.k.a. Mr. Avitz, here to spit Falcon facts, and my guy, Cody Keeler, is in the building to talk Falcon football. Falcon fans, hit that like button. Leave a comment if you haven't already. It's your boys from DFU ready to talk some Falcon football. Philip, Cody, before we get into the Falcon talk, man, what's been going on? It's been a long period since we've done a podcast, about a week and a weekend since we've done a podcast. So what's been going on, boys? Life's been busy, but there's a big matchup today. Philip, we'll start with you. How's life been treating you? What's going on, man? How are we feeling about these Atlanta Falcons?
I've been feeling good, man. Got this past week got a new phone, so we got that done. So, just watch that fight. Friday night.
If you want to call it that, if you want to call it a fight,
should have just went to the high school game, but it is what it is. Yeah. But everything's been good though. I'm Georgia finally got a win. Quarterback actually playing like a quarterback for once, and then we got the day, so we're gonna see how it turns out today, but I'm staying hopeful.
Big game today, Cody. As Philip stated, it is a big game, and the Atlanta Falcons need to walk away with a dub today to walk into that bye week being 7-4. Cody, I'm sure you got a lot of hot key takes today for this game, but before we get to it, what's been going on, man? How life treating you? How are we feeling today about these Atlanta Falcons in this Denver Bronco matchup?
Feeling pretty good about it. It has been a busy week. Definitely been looking forward to today, ready to get that loss Sunday to the Saints taste out of my mouth. That definitely 100%. Made the week kind of drag. It kind of sucked us. I don't know what was worse, that loss to New Orleans or that fight that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson had. They're both pretty bad. So, I'm looking forward to today. It'll be great to go into the bye week. Going 7-4, get rested, get healed up, get your guys ready to go, and kick off the last part of the season to make that playoff push.
It is a very, very big deal today, Cody, to walk into the bye week at 7-4. This is something you haven't done in quite a while. You watched the video the Atlanta Falcons released last week, and it talks about we put ourselves in a position to be on top. Yes, you have, but you have to hold that position there on top. And Cody, that wins. That starts today, Cody. If you want to be a dominant NFC South team and NFC team, period, you've got to do it today, because I'm watching on my TV the Detroit Lions versus Jacksonville Jaguars, and guys, these Detroit Lions are rolling right now. These Detroit Lions are looking legit, and the Falcons must capitalize on these games where you're facing opponents that are almost at an even record at 5-5, I believe the Denver Broncos are. So you're facing not a mediocre team. I don't want to call them that at all, because they have a good defense, a really good defense over in Denver. Kirk Cousins
can play decent.
Drake London, Kyle Pitts, all these guys have major matchups today on this defensive side of the ball. The offense has got to be keyed in today. Offensive line must protect Kirk Cousins today, but the Falcons must secure the win today to be 7-4, walk into the bye week. Fun fact for you guys before we get into this Atlanta Falcon Denver Bronco breakdown. The last time the Atlanta Falcons went to Denver, it was in 2016, and Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman put a spanking on the Denver Broncos in Denver. So can history repeat itself today? I hope so. Philip, that brings me into my segment here, hot takes for today's game. Key takeaways coming up next with Cody Keeler's segment here, DFU My bad. I'm pronouncing this wrong.
You're good.
Killer's keys to success here of the game. Cody with the major facts here coming at you on the pregame show of DFU. Philip, takeaways for today's game. How do you win this game against Denver in Denver with the climate change? There's like an air oxygen change there. The Falcons chose the altitude difference. The Falcons chose to travel in last night. It says, from what I've researched, that this can be a better effect on players to get a good night's rest and be acclimated to the weather, so they're not there 2 to 3 days and their body's drained from trying to produce more oxygen for the body. So Falcons come in last night, spend the night in Denver. They're in Denver today, warming up now, I suggest, at 3:06 on the field. Philip, how do you get a W here and bounce back from the nasty NFC South division rival game L that you took last Sunday?
Well, we all know we're going up against a top pass rush team, and I know we say it like a broken record all the time, but you have to start this game off and pound the rock. You have to move the ball down the field with your running backs.
No 3 and out.
No, yeah, exactly. No 3 and outs. You pound the ball down their throat, man. On the run.
Can we all agree real quick before we get too far into the subject, Philip? You bring up a good point. Can we all agree we're cool with a field goal on the opening drive?
If we can
just get points.
Yeah.
Get points on that opening drive. Do not stall out on a 3-play drive. Philip, continue on, brother.
Yeah, I mean, just pound the rock down the throat, man. Then it's gonna, because it's a high level pass rush team. Once you do that, then they're gonna try to focus on the run, and then that's what leads open to your receivers and Zach and everything. I think it was Patrick Surtain said that he thinks our offense is one of the most simple offenses he's ever seen. So we'll find out today if he can hold up to that. I'm not gonna say it'll happen, but we'll see. So we'll see how that goes. If all that changes and everything, but first you got to start off with the run, and then you got to hope it opens up the pass game. And then once that goes, I feel like you got a really good game going on right there on the offense.
Absolutely. Keys to success for Philip. Keeler, big game today, man. We've stressed this enough on the podcast leading up to it last Sunday. We spoke on it. Sunday is a must win for these Atlanta Falcons to go 7-4 into the bye week, because you are right now up 2 games and the tiebreaker in the division. You don't want to take this L today and bounce it back down to a 1 game up and possibly lose the tiebreaker. So you got to win this game today. You've got to walk into it. Cody, how do you do that? What is the recipe to winning this game here in Denver against a pretty decent defense here in the NFL?
Yeah, man. We're going up against a top 10 defense this week. Now, like you said, this is definitely a must-win game for the Atlanta Falcons. You don't want to go into your bye week with a loss and go, what that puts us at 6-5. You don't want to go 6-5 into your bye week.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your first. If you lose today, this would be your first back-to-back L on the season.
I believe so. It'd be your first back-to-back losses for our Falcons. And you don't want to go into your bye week that way. This is the week that you need to go back, take care of business, get the momentum back swinging our way. Now, the thing about these Denver Broncos is they've been, kryptonite to the NFC South. The Saints, the Bucks, and the Panthers have already lost to this team. So we've got to be the team in the NFC South that doesn't lose to the Denver Broncos. Now, with them being a top 10 defense, they're pretty good at the runs, run stop and pass defense. So your keys to the game is just say the Koo point just popped up on the board there. Koo cannot have a game like he did. Now, with the altitude, it's going to help him with the ball carry and stuff like that. So he should be able to kick things further, with the atmosphere, the way that it is up there at Mile High. But your big keys to today are absolutely, you're going to have to wear them out up front with Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier is going to be a big part of your game plan today, and getting Bijan involved as well. You're going to have to feed both of those guys, wear out that front so you can open up the passing today. I know Patrick Surtain is pretty good corner, but, and I did hear him say that this was a pretty simple offense, but this is where you show him where it's not that simple. It may be simple if he wants to call it that. That's fine. Go ahead and call it simple, but outplay him today. But honestly, this is going to be the big keys to success today, guys. The defense has to show up. Sean Payton has made this offense incredibly simple. If we're going to talk about simple, Sean Payton has made this offense incredibly simple for Bo Nix. So the defense has to put pressure on this kid. They have to put pressure on him, and they have to get him on the ground. That is going to be your biggest key to success today. If you can get Bo Nix on the ground, you can get him out of sorts, make this simple offense that he who shall not be named has made for him. Get Bo Nix on the ground. That's going to be your big key. So
And
Grady Jarrett.
Watch him from scrambling.
Yeah, absolutely. So David Onyemata, Grady Jarrett, Street, all these guys have got to be on their toes, and because he does have a little bit of scrambling ability. It's obviously not like playing Jalen Hurts, but today, if the Falcons are going to be successful and the Falcons are going to walk away with the win, they're pressuring Bo Nix and they're getting him on the ground. You have to have that today, and no stupid penalties to stall out drives.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The penalties is a big one for me, Cody. That's your big key factor to winning the game. Penalties,
it's the stupid ones at that.
have got to be at a minimum. Real quick, shout out to the comment section. Sterling Woods in the chat. So we got to beat these Broncos before the bye week. Shout out to Sterling Woods. I need Koo to show up. We can't leave points off the board. Absolutely. Tay Bro is in the chat. He said Falcons win. Shout out to Tay Bro. He said, who should we play week 1 2025 season? That's tough to say right now, brother. I would think maybe you're looking at a divisional opponent. They've done that the previous 2 years. This year you opened up to, who was it again? The Steelers, because of the Art Smith situation. So I say look for a NFC South divisional opponent week 1 to kick the season off next year. I could be wrong. That's just a suggestion. If you haven't subscribed, brother, hit that subscribe button. We're glad to have you here. Shout out to Tay Bro. Falcon fans, we spoke on the offense. We spoke on a little bit of the defense. Cody brought up how you've got to stop Bo Nix, keep the scrambling to a minimum, Philip says. But that may be a little tough here, week 11 in the NFL, because we have a lot of inactives on the defense side of the ball, per se. D. Alford, Mike Hughes, Antonio Hamilton Sr., J.D. Bertrand, Troy Anderson, Brandon Parker. And then on the offense side of the ball, our guy Charlie Warner, a big aspect to the run blocking scheme here in Atlanta. The inactive list is pretty steep here a week before the bye week, which is why you're glad to have this late bye week, because players get tired, players' bodies wear down. You need that late bye week to really catch the speed, a different gear after that bye week to take the whole thing away. Falcons are looking, if you can come in today and win and then bounce out of the bye week, and whenever you match up with the Panthers the last week of the NFL season, but if you can win today against the Denver Broncos, you come out of the bye week, you get 1 or 2 more dubs, you're going to see Michael Penix Jr. play this year, guys. Because that last week, you're not playing Kirk Cousins if you lock the playoff spot.
Maybe. You might be fighting for that second seed.
I don't think you do. But Philip, Cody, let's talk about, and it may come down to something like that.
First
Cody,
or second.
Let's talk about these injuries, brother. D. Alford, Mike Hughes, Antonio Hamilton, J.D. Bertrand, Troy Anderson, big names on this defense. That's 4 to 5 starters I've named there on the defense side of the ball. D. Alford, Mike Hughes is the biggest one that stands out to me. You're going to have Clark Phillips asking to do a big role today in Denver. And then that leaves a looming question of who plays in the role of D. Alford at nickel. If any of you guys have a suggestion, chat, let me know who you think could fill that role. But Cody, how does this affect his defense today?
Well, I mean, anytime you've got that many starters out, it's going to affect you. But, it's definitely got to be next man up. Clark Phillips is going to have to take that step today and be that guy that, we've talked about all season long so far. All of us here on the show are big Clark Phillip believers. Mike Johnson, came on and talked about the dog that he's got in him. And today he's got to prove that. He's got to prove that, yes, he may be smaller, he may be whatever, but he's got that dog in him. He's going to have to fight. It really sucks to see D out, because I feel like D the last 2 games, has shown up big. So that definitely hurts the defense in a way, more so than I think anybody, because D has been, probably even the last 3 games, because he was one of the ones responsible for knocking that ball out for Tampa Bay to keep them from scoring and making it closer. And they had to settle for that field goal. He had that huge deflection. So today, Clark Phillips has to show up, and has to show up big. It's going to be all hands on deck today, boys. It's got to be. It sucks that Troy Anderson, came back and then went right back out. So that means that Caden Ellis has got to step it up today. He's got to be
Rashawn Evans. Let me tell you guys about a guy that goes by the name of Rashawn Evans. A guy that was a leading tackler for the Atlanta Falcons 3 to 4 years ago here on this defense. A guy that is a run stuffer that we have not had. Now, I'm not saying Rashaan Evans comes in and makes this defense a top 10, but Rashaan Evans can play in the NFL. He's a seasoned veteran here. I think Rashaan Evans could make a spot here today if he shows out on this defense. Rashaan Evans is my key player for today, guys, because if you have a guy that can stuff that run game up, that can keep Bo Nix in the pocket, Rashaan Evans, ball out, brother, because I'm rooting for you. I like the player. I like what he's done for the Falcons in the previous past. I was one rooting to re-sign him when we released him. So Rashaan Evans, show out, man. Let's see you make a spot here on this roster. Phillip, key inactives today. We spoke on it. Clark Phillips asking to fill in a big role here for this defense in the secondary. You've seen him make big splashes here, good tackles, good competition, but yet he has been beat. He has been beat a couple of times as expected, as in a second-year player that's really technically his first year playing in the NFL is this year because he played a couple of snaps his rookie season, but not much, not many to grow off of. Phillip, who does Clark Phillips? I mean, obviously he has a guy that's returning home today, Justin Simmons, looking for him to have a big game. Mm-hmm. Justin Simmons, a Jesse Bates to help Clark Phillips, A.J. Terrell. But who fills that nickel spot if Clark Phillips isn't playing the nickel? Who steps into that role, Phillip? Do you have a name for us? And I feel like I know the name you're about to scream here. And can we expect this guy to play good football today? Phillip, who fills that role?
I feel like it's going to be Richie. Hey, but it might not be. I don't know. We'll have to see. But if Richie has to come in, man, he's going to have to do his – he's going to have to be on his P's and Q's, man. He's going to have to do it. He's going to have to go out there and do the damn thing.
You're going up against a rookie quarterback that has potentially stat-wise, progression-wise, yard-wise, has shown that he – if you go by PFF grade and by stats, you're playing the best rookie quarterback right now in the NFL. If you go by stats, Bo Nix has outplayed what's his name, buddy from
Jaden
Commanders, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, the bust, the first-round pick. You have a guy, Bo Nix, that has played decent football with let's be for real, a decent head coach that has coached with a decent quarterback throughout his career. And so you've got to take this offense for real. You cannot be light, and you have to be, as you guys both said, on your P's and Q's. Cody, we kind of demolished your segment because we talked about how to beat these Denver Broncos, but why not go ahead and do it again? Keeler's killer keys to the game. Cody, how do you make this game a definite W? And really dive in on this right here for me. How does this offense get rolling? You have a quarterback in Kirk Cousins that has done very well this season. Done very well, and not too bad last Sunday, a 300-yard game. He did have an interception that was critical. But all in all, Kirk Cousins has played winning football here in Atlanta. Cody, how does Kirk Cousins get this ball distributed to the press? Keeps talking about him, guys. Darnell Mooney, the new receiver too in Atlanta. People are starting to know this guy is real. If you have teams scheming for a Darnell Mooney, what could this mean for a Drake London that is your receiver one here in Atlanta that can be a dangerous receiver, as we all know here on the channel? But you look at Charlie Warner now not being active today. You'll see a lot of Kyle Pitts with the hand in the dirt, a lot of blocking schemes from Kyle Pitts. So I don't think you see a big game from Kyle Pitts today. That's because the gaming scheme is something separate from what it usually would be for Kyle Pitts. Mm-hmm. Not saying that Kyle Pitts is having a bad game today, but he's asked to step up in Charlie Warner's spot. So, Cody, killer keys to the game. How do you get it? How do you get this dub today?
Yeah, man. So it's going to be definitely important to keep Kirk Cousins upright. And yes, you're right. I think Kyle Pitts kind of fades into the background today because he is going to do more blocking. But now here's the great thing about having a Bijan Robinson type running back. The dude can make catches too.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Leading the NFL in receiving yards at running back position.
Absolutely. Yes. So get Bijan involved in the passing game today too. Get that offense going hot. Make sure that you're keeping Kirk upright. That's going to be big for the offense. The other thing is Younghoe, who has to make field goals today. Yes. He's definitely playing in the higher atmosphere, which should help him, with distance, So now it just comes down to accuracy. I think that game against the Saints was that one-off game where, he just had a bad day at the office. This is his bounce back week. Mm-hmm. The other keys of the game definitely are going to be on our defense. Bo Nix and Sean Payton run a very simple offense. You're going to have to make it hard for him. You're going to have to be in his face. You're going to have to bat balls. You're going to have to get in there and get him on the ground.
Can we get the pressure from the Cowboys game? Can we get that pressure?
Yeah, if you have the Caden Ellis that showed up for the Dallas Cowboys game, it's going to be a very long day for Bo Nix. If you can get the Grady Jarrett sacks, if you can get the David Amumata sacks, we're gonna be sitting real pretty. So definitely the keys of the game. Keep Kirk upright. Get Bijan involved in the pass game because you've got Kyle going to be handed the dirt. Pound the rock with Tyler Algier. Wear out that front and go get after the quarterback. It should be as simple as that. Keep your offense rolling, getting Bijan involved in the pass and run game, get Bo Nix on the ground, and that'll give you a Falcon W today.
Cody, a name that we haven't talked about on the show, and it's a name that we forget a pretty good bit here on the channel because he's kind of been in the shadows the last 2 years on the defense of the Atlanta Falcons. But Arnold Ebiketie making a name this season. People talked about he needed to get sacks. Yes, he hasn't got the big sack number yet. He has a couple of sacks on the season, but AK making a presence there. Lorenzo Carter makes a comeback today. I don't know how that's going to look with Zoe Carter. We haven't seen him on the defense in quite some games now. Zoe Carter didn't look too great in this scheme early on in the season. Maybe that has changed. Zoe Carter, a name to watch for today. Arnold Ebiketie, another one. And then that leads us to our next segment. The Mega Biff's Mega Takes. He's not here for the pregame show, but he will be with us after the live Falcons game. We will be live if we don't play like we played against the Saints. It's hard to go live after a loss like that, especially to an NFC South opponent. But DFU will make sure we try to be live for you guys tonight after the Atlanta Falcons Week 11 matchup with the Denver Broncos. Mega Biff's Mega Takes. Philip, take it away. We'll rotate to Cody, then I'll give you my hot takes. Hot takes for today's game for these Atlanta Falcons. Let these Falcon fans know what they can expect today, brother.
I called it against New Orleans last week. I'm giving it to him again. That man Bijan Robinson's gonna have a day. He's gonna have a day. He's gonna have another touchdown reception pass. Doesn't matter how long or yards wide. He's gonna have another one today. I can just feel it. It's the type of play style. It's gonna be dirty. He's on it. So that's my hot take for today.
Philip, speaking on wanting it and speaking on Jabri Carver's comment here, great comment from Jabri, a diehard Falcon fan. Raheem Morris said in a press conference after the Saints loss, he said, "These guys are fighters. These guys are resilient, and I cannot wait to see how they bounce back from this loss." Jabri Carper here says, "I feel like we're going to get a big game from Kirko this game. I can just feel it." Could the Atlanta Falcons bounce back today and shock the whole world and be a dominant performance all around today? That is what Falcon fans are hoping for. That's the big question for these Atlanta Falcons in Week 11. Can the Atlanta Falcon fans finally see a dominant win for our Dirty Birds? Cody, hot take for today, brother. Who shows out? Who gets the game ball? What is your prediction for these Atlanta Falcons as they get ready in no less than 35 minutes to take the field here, Week 11 in the NFL? Cody, hot takes.
All right, so I've got two guys that are going to show up today. Let's say it's a homecoming for Justin Simmons. Look for him to get a turnover, maybe take one to the house. And the other thing is Young Wei Koo's going to come up clutch 3 times today. Okay. He's going to have 3
I can dig it, Cody.
Get
me back on the Koo train because I want to pull that horn. Horn.
I would say absolutely. So look for Koo to come up big in 3 situations today and Jesse Simmons to have an outstanding return home to Denver and show up big for this defense when we need it most.
Hot takes here on DFU. Falcon fans, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 1K. We're at 447. Falcon fans, get us there. Without you guys, we cannot reach that goal. My hot take for today's game. You guys have named out some good ones. I'm going to say, okay, it hasn't really been quiet because Drake London has had a touchdown in the last 2 weeks. He had the touchdown, was pulled out of the game. He had the Saints game, looked good, it's his first game back from a hip injury, maybe not 100%. I say Drake London goes off today with 2 touchdowns on today's game. Darnell Mooney, him and Drake London today pair for over 200 yards in receiving. Darnell and Drake London show out big time for these Atlanta Falcons. Defense, hot take. Arnold Ebiketie shows out today for these Dirty Birds.
I got one, bro. I'm not going to put Arnold Ebiketie. I'm going to give it to the Rook. My boy Brandon Dolores, bro.
Brandon Dolores possibly making his season debut. Brandon Dolores. Philip's big on this guy. Falcon fans, could we see our sack master officially in the rookie Brandon Dolores? Because guys, I was thinking about it this morning. I woke up and I was thinking about the rookie class. I was thinking about the previous years of the rookie class and where they stood at week 11. And I looked at our rookie class of where we stood today at week 11. And it's not pretty. It's not very pretty, guys. This draft class, obviously, we haven't seen our first round pick. I think that was a diamond in the rough. I think that was a solid pick by Terry. But if you look in these later rounds, obviously you lose your top, what you think is going to be your top pass rusher in preseason. Brandon Dolores here to make a season debut. If he can make the reins here for this rookie class, if he could be the guy to stand out, Philip, Brandon Dolores may be that next jersey, brother.
Exactly. That's the point. We gotta believe into existence, man.
Zach Harrison, another one I got big hopes for if the Falcons would leave him on the field long enough.
But
Zach
he's
Harrison
got pressure.
He doesn't get near enough snaps. He doesn't get near enough snaps for me. It's week 11 and we're still rotating people every 2 plays. Mm-hmm. We don't know who that D front is yet. And maybe that's due to injury. I don't know, but we've got to figure out who's going to be that pass rusher on first, second, and third down, or third and fourth down, and who's going to be that run defense on first and second. They've got to figure it out. My guy Jabri Harper in the chat said, I love it, Chase. Jabri, brother, hit that like button, man. We are trying to get these Falcon fans on this rally here. The Falcons can make a 7-4 advantage today. In week 11, your Falcons can sit at 7-4 after, 8 o'clock, be about the end of the game, 8 o'clock. So the Atlanta Falcons, man, in less than at 4 hours and 30 minutes can be 7-4 here in the NFC South. 3 games advance, looking good here in the NFC South. A definite playoff team if we can secure this dub today, I believe. I just feel it. You're going to start seeing players lock in these because if the Lions continue winning like they're winning people, they are your NFC South #1 team. They will lock that spot.
I'm going to just put it out this way. The Detroit Lions remind me of the 2016 Dallas Cowboys. Tough, but they make the most dumb, questionable things when it comes to the playoffs.
Dude,
and that's what's going to kill them.
Threw 6 receptions last week, and they still won. The defense is a big, big factor in that team. And the running backs. They have 2 of the best running backs in the league, as well as the Falcons.
I don't know if you guys remember, because after we went 7-4, we went into the bye week, and then we just caught fire, and we didn't stop then. We just kept going, and
history repeats itself. And to me, guys, this year has been so in line with 2016. So in line with what's happened in 2016.
That's why I say that last game against the Panthers, you don't let up. You probably possibly have a chance that you could possibly get second or first seed.
And that could be a possibility, Phil. I don't know the Lions' outcome of their their roster, their schedule sheet. I don't know who they have, but you would need. Okay, let's talk about that scenario here for a second. To get that #1 seed spot, the Atlanta Falcons obviously have to win. We have to win. We cannot be taking L's. We have got to win at least 3 in a row here if you're going to take that spot. You got to take at least 3 in a row here, and we need the Detroit Lions to realistically lose 3 games. 3 or 4 games before the season's over.
Which is possible. They got their rivals again, which is Green Bay. That could go either way. They got Buffalo, who is also a tough team that could also give them a loss.
And I can't even really
possibly. And then also the Vikings.
Well, you got the Seahawks now that are – or not the Seahawks, the Eagles now that are sitting at the 2nd or 3rd seed here.
It's because they beat Washington.
Exactly. So you need the Eagles to lose some games. You need the Lions to lose some games, which is very possible. Very possible. We'll see what happens, man. It's a long run until the end of the season.
It's rare and very hard to finish a season with 1 or 2 losses. It's possible, but it's there's a 75% chance that, majority of the time that actually happens.
Yeah. I mean, anything can happen here, man. That's the NFL. It's any given Sunday here in the NFL. We've seen throughout these weeks of play, anything can happen here. Philip, Cody, man, it's been a great pregame show. We've hit our 30-minute mark of our Atlanta Falcons versus the Broncos pregame show. Episode 108. Guys, these shows are stacking up, fellas. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Philip, Cody, shout-outs before we get ready to get our pregame dub, get ready to get in there, sit in the living room, drink a couple beers, watch the Falcons do what Falcons do. Rise up, as Philip Poster says in the background. Rise up, Dirty Birds. Philip, shout outs for today, brother.
Man, shout out, my God, man. We here for another day. We here to witness all this, man. It's a beautiful day outside, so I'm thankful. God bless the Jacksonville Jaguars. They suck. It's 49-6, so God bless them. But anyway, shout out to you boys for being here. Can't wait for this game to start, man. I always get this type of hype feeling every time a game comes on. So I'm kind of feeling it now. I can't show it because I don't want to look like a fool on camera. But anyway, yeah, man, I'm ready to get this game going, man. Boys, do not disappoint me. Coup, do not disappoint me. Let's get this 7-4 record, man. Let's go into a bye week and let's just catch fire, man. But y'all already know what to do, man. Rise up.
Rise up, man. Let's go, bro. I can agree 100%. You got to get this dub today, and you want to see these Birds bounce back. You want to say, I want to be able to come back after the game and have a title that says Falcons flying high into the bye week, 7-4. You know how nice that would be here? Yeah. Cody, shout outs for this game, brother, and obviously the pregame show here, episode 108.
Yes, sir. Well, shout out to you guys for coming on this. It's this afternoon now. Let's say this afternoon. Talking Dirty Bird football. It's always good. Shout out to everybody. Commenting and being involved with the show. Definitely appreciate that. Love doing this for y'all. Shout out to the Birds, man. Say go bounce back now. Boys, just buckle up because I have a feeling this one's going to be ugly.
Don't be bumpy.
It's going to be a bumpy.
Before we leave, score prediction. Cody, give your score prediction, then Philip, and then I'll give a shout out.
So this one, it's going to be ugly and it's going to be bumpy. I have a feeling that it's going to. So your Falcons are going to wind up winning this one. I think we get 2 touchdowns and we get some Youngway Coup field goals. So I'm going to say it's going to be a 24-30 game.
Okay.
130.
Your Atlanta Falcons. Yep.
Close game there for Cody. Big scoring. You break the 30-point mark. Philip, score prediction for today, brother.
I think it's going to be a rough one. It's going to be a rough one for both of us. It's not going to be an easy cakewalk. I think it's going to be like a 24-17 or 24-20.
Okay. So a nail biter all the way to the end.
Exactly. Got to get that adrenaline. You know how they love doing us, man.
Heart's pumping. Don't really care to eat supper because the Falcons just put me through hell. Yeah. Man, my score prediction for tonight's game or this afternoon game here in 30 minutes or so, I think the Atlanta Falcons walk away with a dub into the bye week 7-4 with a score of 17-13. Your Atlanta Falcons walk away with a dub. A nail biter, but you still get the W. It doesn't matter how you do it, just get the W.
Win.
Falcon fans, hit that like button, man. It's DFU coming at you with the pregame show for Falcons versus the Denver Broncos. We will be live after the Atlanta Falcons versus the Denver Broncos game. Be subscribed to the channel if you haven't. Ring the bell so you know when DFU is dropping content. Shout out to all the Falcon fans that showed up today for the pregame show. Glad to have everybody that tuned in that left a comment. Leave a like if you're watching this after the live. Leave a comment so we can come talk Falcon football with you. Falcon fans, we appreciate you being here. Shout out to Philip and Cody for coming through pregame show, guys. We got a big one ahead of us. We got a big one to watch. I'm sure the group chat is going to be popping off.
We got to be the only NFC team, NFC South team to beat the Broncos. We got to be the only one.
Let's do it. Let's
start it. Let's start it today. Exactly.
Why not us? It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. This is DFU, man. We up out of here. A-Town down. Rise up. We'll catch you after the game, baby. Appreciate you. We out of here. Rise up.
Rise up.